All right, and we are live. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another. I guess I could have called this one Mixtape Mondays. I don't know. I just went with the usual late to the party news. But we're gonna talk music today. I think I'll stick with the late to the party news because as I'm already getting endless amounts of shit in the chat, I always start late. I always start late. It's my MO. Like I should be using my waiting for Nerdrotic koozie because apparently that's just what you do when you go live. You're always late, right?
Yep.
I am already using my Christmas story koozies.
It's too early. Freaking savage.
We got the tree up already here. So.
Oh my God!
There you go. I'd give it another week before I start using the Christmas countdown and the Christmas intro, Christmas outro, and all of that. I'll give you guys that. But yeah, there's a good chance I'm putting my tree up tomorrow because I have a fake tree, so I can leave it up until March. But yeah, here we are, another Monday.
Do they have real trees there, like evergreens at all, or no?
Yeah,
we do have real trees, but when it is time to dispose of them, they make quite the mess. Needles everywhere.
This is true. This is true.
It is dry.
They pretty much die out. They dry out pretty much the next day. So,
throw out the street and let them on fire.
Yeah. Yeah, they're major fire hazards here in Southern California. But the good thing is we never have to. The good thing is we never have to run our heaters in Southern California, so it doesn't dry them out that much more. But if you live in a house that has a fireplace and you really want to have a fire, that could become problematic because one little spark and there goes your tree and all your ornaments and baby's first Christmas and everything. That's all
and
gone.
Baby and
I was gonna make that
joke. But yeah, so I thought tonight would be a fun one to just sort of have like one topic rather than just sort of being all over the map. We are going to argue about who we think are the greatest rock bands of all time. I know Devon already has some really bad wrong takes about all of those things.
Nickelback is clearly superior to all other bands, and I won't hear it.
Jesus.
It's because you're Canadian.
Oh, sorry.
So yeah, I came across this list. It was like 15 best rock bands of all time, and I sort of skimmed through it. And it's funny when I find these lists.
Oh, they're always terrible.
What the fuck are your neighbors doing right now? Can you guys hear that?
I can, yes.
I can't, but I'm old.
It seriously sounds like my neighbors are like hitting their floor with a hammer right now, like right above my head. And
that's
there's no way
some loving is what that is.
It's also the super fun transgender couple that has a kid. Super fun. Anyways, I don't want to get shadow banned or canceled. But anyways, I came across this list, and when I see stuff like this, it's like I agree with some of it, I disagree with some of it. This was one where I was like, this is a pretty good 50-50. Like we could get a good discussion out of this, but it might take more than 1 week to get through it. But anyways, before we get any further, introductions, if I can point the right way, this way. With me, my alternate universe. I don't know if it's like alternate universe or Bizarro. I think Bizarro is probably the better descriptor. My Bizarro dad, Roman of the Empire. Good evening to you, sir. How are you doing today on this lovely Monday?
Doing well. Thank you for having me. As always, I appreciate being here. Coming off a busy weekend of an awful lot of drinking. Not that actually is an activity that we would qualify as busy, but it was. I can't say it wasn't because it was. Talked to other musician friends this weekend. My from prior Dead as Dillinger days, hanging out with the boys, guitarist and drummer, and then working with my new friend Lorenzo, also guitarist. So it was a good weekend though.
Right on.
I didn't want your whole life story, Roman. Come on, it was an introduction.
That's what you get. That's what you get. You ask me a question, you're getting a 45 to 2 minute answer.
Combination of busy and or drank too much all weekend. Yeah, it's actually funny. I popped in on when you were doing your stream on Thursday. I came in and had a couple of good one-liners there, but I think you were in the middle of your introductions and you missed it. But
the intros are tough.
I Gotta come here and take a couple jabs, you know. And then we've got our favorite wizard from the Midwest, Blair to Blair, coming to us from his basement. How are you doing? You're pointing the wrong way, Devon. Other way. Wait.
What?
Wait. Here we go. That's easier.
Be over here.
How you doing,
that's
Blair?
weird.
You got to flip your camera settings so it'll do
That's
that.
weird.
I'm doing fine. Looking forward to talking about this. See what everybody's takes are.
Yeah, this should definitely be a fun one. And our friend to the north.
Oh, hi. I'm Devon. It's nice to meet you. It's been a real long week here up in Canada. Real cold. It's about 9 degrees Fahrenheit for you Americans, and we got lots of snow. And it sucks, and I kind of hate winter, honestly. I'm getting sick of it already. I already can't park.
I thought you said you were going to grow the beard out, and then all of a sudden it's gone.
Yeah, I shaved it off today because it was getting a little bit out of hand. So, but yeah, we got enough snow I can park out back because I get stuck. So, the good times.
All about that pedo stash. You know.
Lord.
Early bird here, Mr. Jacob Ironside. Good evening to you, sir. Always good to see you hopping in. Yeah, but Lady Marine, who I know you've had a bit of a rough weekend. Thank you for being here. I would say I hope you're doing better, but I know that you're still having some major back pain. That's never fun. It's never good. I know. I'm sure Roman and Blair can both attest to the fact that the VA is useless when you need something.
I've never had to go to him, thank God. But
nope.
I've heard the stories.
So that's all I've ever heard from the various veteran friends that I have is that it's like you need something. The VA is you're gonna sit there for 6 hours and you're not gonna really get anything that you need. So, anyways, I know you're having a tough time, but thanks for being here. We appreciate you. Have mental pain from work going on, but I hurt my back. Well, and now you're going to have mental pain from listening to the four of us. So I apologize in advance. But again, thank you for being here.
You signed up for this. You showed up voluntarily.
You signed up. You clicked.
You know how dumb we are. This is your first rodeo.
But also, too, before we get going, make sure to hit that like button on the stream. It really does help share it out there. And every little bit really does help the stream. So ready to be lulled to sleep. Yeah, it's if you're having a hard time falling asleep, pull up one of my live streams, listen to me talk for an hour. You'll be sleeping in no time.
Let's talk about Creed, guys.
Oh man, I could definitely talk about Creed.
I don't want to.
So I feel like I need to scroll to the bottom of this list first because it's backwards. I sent it to you guys. Okay. I don't know if you got a chance to look through it, but it starts with number 1. But I feel like lists are supposed to count down, right? Like you're supposed to see like who's like the lowest rated. Okay, top 15 rock bands of all time, and then count up to number 1. I already know number 15, Roman. You are gonna spiral out into a blind rage rant.
Excellent. Good. Good.
I can't wait.
Bring it up. Let's go.
There's a few bands on here that I agree with. There's some where I'm like indifferent, and then there's some where I'm like, oh hell no. But let's just go ahead and kick it right off. Number 15, so bottom of the list, but still being considered top 15 best rock bands of all time. The Foo Fighters.
Oh, fuck no.
Roman, go.
Oh, my God. Wow. First of all,
I'm so glad you didn't look at this beforehand.
I didn't look at this beforehand. I'm glad I didn't.
Your reaction is perfect.
Because it would have spoiled this joyous occasion. They're a derivative band just on it which sells itself. They killed their drummer, allegedly, which really made me hate them. Dave Grohl is a giant twat.
This
musically,
is true.
they're fine. they're mid. They're an okay band. You go there, you're
very
entertained.
average.
They're pleasant enough background noise. I don't like them for a lot of reasons now. I used to like them. I don't like them for a lot of reasons now. But to qualify them within the top 15 greatest bands, no. There's so much no that it's hard for me to articulate how much no this is. So that's a fucking terrible take.
Amazing.
Fucking retards.
Outrageous.
I do enjoy Everlong, I'll be honest.
And this screenshot is from that music video.
But that's about it.
Well, it's because the chicks like
Learn to Fly is okay.
So right there from Lady Marina's reaction was great. I'm actually almost happy that you didn't already skim this article ahead of time, because now we're gonna get very honest reactions this whole way through. We're gonna get some real hot takes here. We can end the show now. Oh no, there's still 14 more to go.
Oh no, I know, it's so good.
We just got started.
Fucking Foo Fighters. My
Same
God.
for Roman, not good anymore because they're assholes. Uh-oh, did we lose somebody? What happened? Oh,
No, I'm good.
No
Sorry. Wrong button.
But yeah, I feel like they're one of those bands where when they came out, it was kind of like, okay, yeah, whatever. But they're very generic, very mid. There was a time in my life where I thought, when I'd seen some videos and stuff, where it seemed like maybe they put on like a fun live show, like kind of the banter between Dave Grohl and Taylor Hawkins, rest in peace. That like they seemed kind of fun and like they put on a good show. But yeah, over the last 4 years, I'm just sort of like, well, not anymore. And then they brought in and don't get me wrong, very, very talented drummer. But when they brought in Josh Freese to be their new permanent drummer, Josh Freese
I don't know him.
is a very well-known session musician. He is one of those guys that it's like Paramore needs somebody for their album or for their tour, and they hire him, and he collects his paycheck and he does his thing. He was a part of A Perfect Circle kind of in the beginning. He's played for Devo. He's played for, I mean, it's like you name it, this guy's probably drummed for this band, whether in the studio, whether live. He is a session drummer. He is not someone who it's like, oh, I'm going to go be part of a band. And it's just like, no, it's like, I came in, I did the thing, money, please. I'm going to move on to the next job. So they went from having a drummer that was like, oh, the singer and the drummer have this like fun, like friendship, relationship, banter back and forth, to being like, you got a guy that like literally his whole job is being a hired gun. Like that's all he does. And he's good at it. He's very talented. He can jump into any style, any band, anything. But his job is to be a hired gun and to just fit into whatever band is hiring him.
He's a good.
He's a late add-on. He's a late add-on to the band anyway, though. So just take him out of the equation. That's kind of an irrelevant thing. But I would argue, and I like Nirvana. I do like Nirvana, but I wouldn't have them in the top 15 either. Not a chance.
Oh, you're going to be really upset in a few minutes.
Well, like I said, they're fine, but when you're looking at greatest rock bands of all time, you can't put them in that category.
So Jacob, not to spoil it or anything, but I can neither confirm nor deny that Nickelback might be number one on the list, but you're gonna have to wait and find out. We might not even find out until
high on the list.
We might not even find out until next Monday if we argue long enough over this list.
Let's go to the next one. Fuck the Foo Fighters. We don't like them.
Thank you.
All right. Number 15, Foo Fighters. What do we have?
That's inappropriate.
For number 14, The Doors.
Oh,
that's interesting.
I could see
that's an interesting choice.
I'm going to be honest, and this might piss some people off. I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to this one. I'm not particularly a huge fan of The Doors.
Me either.
I like The Doors.
I can see them being on the list. Maybe further down if it was bigger than 15, though.
Yeah, and then I would agree with that, Devon. Now, because the Doors were a very different band for their time, though. We look at, we have Rolling Stones, we have the Beatles. That's kind of the main forerunners of music in this era. And the Doors come along and they fit more like in a Jimi Hendrix style category. Because if we look at rock in general, we got to break it up into like 100 different fucking subgenres.
Yeah.
But the Doors come in and they got this kind of bluesy, rolling, let's get high music, and it's a drastic difference to the other things that are being presented. So I think they, like I said, I'm okay with them here, but it's way too high in a list of top 15 bands. But they're okay. They're fucking light years ahead of the Foo Fighters.
You nailed like 2 out of the descriptors they have right here in this article, where it's like led by poetic genius of Jim Morrison, the band fused elements of blues, jazz, and psychedelia. So that was pretty much everything you said in different words.
Yep.
Into a sound that was both hypnotic and rebellious, with songs like Light My Fire, Riders in the Storm, and Break On Through. So I will just say right off the bat, like, one of the reasons why the Doors aren't really on my list of like great, their sound of like the weird kind of circus carnival organ sound, while like all songs being in a minor key, just I don't know, for lack of a better term, almost like creep me out. Like when I hear their songs, not every single song, but certain songs from the Doors, I hear them, it's like it almost kind of makes my skin crawl, because it's like everything's in a minor key and it has this like weird creepy circus sound to it because of the organ that was always like kind of one of the driving
circus sound. It sounds like you're talking about Mr. Bungle. That's a circus sound.
That's a like, deep reference right there.
If it was slowed down and maybe a little bit more reverb and it was played while you're walking through like a dimly lit area, would you be like terrified of this, John? I feel like probably.
It would be kind of creepy. Like I would constantly be looking over to see if like Pennywise the Clown was like coming at me or something. I don't know. It's a weird. They're a weird band. They were a weird. And it's another one of those ones. So like when we were kind of talking before about, like Alice in Chains and Linkin Park and different stuff, like some bands decide to replace their dead singer and move on. Others are just sort of like, okay, I guess we're done. So I feel like this is one that, other than a couple of random like one-off reunions where they had some guest vocalists, the Doors kind of were like, okay, we're done. I mean, Led Zeppelin's drummer died and they called it quits. Just their drummer. AC/DC, Bon Scott died very early on, and they chose to replace him with Brian Johnson and move on and have a very successful generic career, which we'll get to there also at some point. But it's interesting to see when bands are just like, a member died, we're done.
Like input
I think more. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say the clip
Devon,
from Forrest Gump, where he's like, "Okay, I think I'm done now. I think I want to go home."
Yeah,
that's basically
I'm pretty tired now. I think I'll just go home.
See, I think Morrison was one of those cats, though, like Cobain, like Lane Staley, who was probably not the easiest dude to work with either. Just because they're such of these volatile personalities, and quite honestly, that's the face of the band. Literally, the people aren't coming to see the other guys; they're coming to see them.
And they always say too, it's like how often do people know the name of the lead singer but don't know the names of any of the other? And I'll be fully honest here, even with the Doors, I literally don't know the name of any of the other members of the Doors. I just know Jim Morrison. So that's fair.
Ray.
Hey, Moxie.
Hello, Moxie Dame. I believe this is the first time I've seen you on my channel, but hello and welcome. Thank you for being here. We're going to argue about music all night.
And why Nickelback is clearly the superior rock band. They deserve a little bit higher on the list, but honestly, I'll accept where they landed.
Probably at like number 300 or so, give or take. But
like I said, so far 15 and 14 have been. 15 doesn't fucking belong there at all, but 14 as the Doors is still way too high for the Doors.
I can see top 100. Right. Not even maybe
easily top 100. Easy top 100, but
not top 25. Maybe not even top 50.
Okay.
I agree with this.
You guys know how much I hate Fleetwood Mac. Like,
I know you do. I know you do.
go ahead, discuss. Go.
I like Fleetwood Mac.
So do
I
I.
do too.
Yeah.
Well, they've had
I think
a
they have
long
very-
history,
Gonna,
though.
you know what? Like, I'll be back in
and
like
it's
10
gone.
minutes.
Good.
They
That's
started out
fine.
as
fine.
offshoot of the Blues Breakers, and actually, the drummer named the band Fleetwood Mac because he wanted Mac to join them, but he couldn't because he was still in another band. They eventually did quit and join these guys. Mick Fleetwood is the drummer, and then Mac the bass player. And but they've had so many iterations. They've had so many. Like one of the lead singers took too much acid and just literally fried himself, and
It happens.
had to leave. He went off into another dimension type of deal, like
Wow.
like Pink Floyd, type of situation.
Don't do drugs, kids.
But
Well,
they,
also,
I
don't sleep with your
definitely know-
bandmates.
yeah,
Yeah,
That was
too.
their
That's
biggest
one of the
problem.
few
That caused
I do
more
know
problems for
about them
Fleetwood
is
Mac
that-
than anything else.
when these
was-
two guys got hired, they'd already had 3 different versions of the band by that point. And of course, this is the most famous one with Lindsay and what's his name there? But
let's look it down here. Fleetwood balance songwriting, Stevie Nicks, Lindsey Buckingham.
Nixon Buckingham.
It doesn't. This little paragraph here doesn't really name anyone else. It's kind of like the core 3, like Stevie Nicks, Mick Fleetwood, and Lindsey Buckingham, but it's not really naming the other.
Well, and Chrissy McVie.
But yeah, that is like as much as I despise this band, I do know that much about them. Like they've had kind of a revolving door of musicians where it's like this is maybe the most famous lineup of the band, but they've kind of been through a lot of different members.
Sorry.
Yeah. He just got it.
Look, I don't make the jokes, folks.
God
You
damn it,
couldn't-
Roman. You're fired.
They're like one of those bands in the 70s though you couldn't get away from. They were so popular. That one couple albums they had that were just huge.
Yeah.
Rumors is an extraordinary piece of work. It just is.
Do you have that one on vinyl, Roman?
Oddly enough, I do.
You say
I
oddly
figured you
enough,
did.
I don't have a massive collection, and there's a pretty good chance it's in there.
Fleetwood Mac is there.
I mean, hold on here. Look at just look at.
That's part of it. That's part.
Do you
of
have
it.
any? Do you have any
That's just
Nickelback
part
on
of it.
vinyl?
There is no Nickelback in my collection.
I'm ashamed of you.
I'm gonna get you some Nickelback for Christmas.
Yes.
Please
Okay,
do.
guess what was
Please
getting
do.
for Christmas, buddy?
Oh,
Everybody buy Roman Nickelback records for Christmas.
Yes.
No,
Yes.
we need to get
I
them.
might
the
be able to
full
get some
set.
decent trade-in value with him, but I don't
Because
think so.
his birthday is long since passed. We just you got to get him Christmas presents at this point.
Please don't. I beg you. In fact, don't.
We're gonna actually, you know what? No, it's like we're gonna actually have like Nickelback like show up at your house and
Yes.
perform a living room concert.
They're gonna
Oh
bring.
Lord, it's probably not very expensive to do.
I knew that was
and
coming.
it beats hanging out under a bridge making
They're gonna-
$5.
Whoa.
I'm
gonna bring
pretty
Hey man,
sure,
$5 is
yeah.
$5.
Olive
I'm pretty sure
breadsticks.
Devon could probably hook that up because Canadians know all the other Canadians, right?
Oh yeah, that's exactly it. He just lives a couple houses down. Actually, great guy. Great guy. Actually, so there was a house that I went to one time who just had a like a shrine of Chad Kroger in her house, and I'm dead serious. It was like pictures of him and like candles there. And I'm like, this.
Did
is
you
a
stay
little
there?
too much. No, I worked there. I was
Okay.
doing. I was installing a
Oh,
fireplace.
Had to
Okay,
install
okay,
a
thank God.
furnace.
Oh man, I don't know. It was getting spicy in there. I don't know if she needed it.
Oh boy.
So
Uh,
it's Fleetwood
here-
Mac.
And here,
Sorry.
Roman, Jacob says, and all the Fifth Element memorabilia that you have.
Yes,
on your
thank you.
shelf
I
there
have
back there.
one piece of Fifth Element memorabilia, and Blair is responsible for that.
Is that the printed photo of Beard of Liberty in the white?
No, that actually doesn't count. That's thank God. Ooh. Poor Father Miller.
Can't
he saw
unsee
that.
it. They don't make water hot enough to scrub your eyes out after that.
No, they do not. No, they do not. Oh God.
Oh,
Pippin's
man.
yelling.
Has anyone heard the what is it? It's called "Other Side of Your Dreams" by Fleetwood Chili Peppers?
What are you?
It's a
right
mashup of Fleetwood Mac Dreams and Red Hot Chili Peppers Other Side, and it goes together amazingly. And I highly recommend looking it up.
Find that now.
Here, I will actually.
Boy.
There's a good Black Sabbath Doors mashup that's really good.
There we go.
Oh, here's the actual name of it. I don't know if that actually.
Fascinating.
There you go. Look up this. Whenever you guys get a chance, I highly recommend it. It's really good. Those songs go together really well.
See if I can get this to.
Oh God.
No.
Here's John going for the copyright strike.
I don't. It's a mashup, so I doubt it.
It happens.
Oh, don't kid yourself.
Every time.
That's just
if
fair.
I think about fucking anime, I get a copyright strike.
Really?
We'll figure it out.
Sad.
Let's scroll on though, shall we?
Oh,
Guns N'
Christ.
Roses.
No. Fucking heavy no for me. Not even top 25, maybe top 50 if we're scraping. Of all fucking time, Guns N' fucking Roses. Guns N' Roses are a retro throwback band that we're competent enough musicians. I don't prefer Axl Rose's voice myself. But as far as being in the top 15, certainly not.
No. Top 50 maybe. But not.
I think they belong there.
Not top 15, no.
I believe Guns N' Roses is one of those bands, much like a lot of the bands that came along in the 90s, where they had talented musicians, talented, like the rhythm section. I mean, Slash, obviously, Slash. The band was talented, but Axl Rose was insufferable.
No, agreed. Well, that's when we
he's
look
only
at
got worse.
When Velvet Revolver was doing its thing. It was essentially all the musicians from Guns N' Roses with Scott Weiland.
With
that
Scott
was
Weiland,
a very, very much preferred combination for me. They were never as wildly successful as Guns N' Roses, but they also came. That's also many years later. And now you're talking about a derivative band again. But what they did was they did kind of fill a void that was in the music industry at the time. You didn't have a solid rock band, and that's what Guns N' Roses was. They were a rock band. So
are you saying Poison wasn't a good rock band, sir?
I would say Poison is not a good rock band. I would say that definitively. No, Jacob Ironside, don't put it in print. Now they're coming for me. They're coming for me. Roman of the Empire.
And that is one of those things where it's like there's not as many rock bands out there now. Like one of the things I constantly hear is that like there's not a lot of like quote unquote guitar heroes out there that are making like younger kids want to play guitar. Like coming up, it's like you saw Eddie Van Halen, you saw Slash, you saw, and kids were like, oh man, I want to play guitar, I want to do that. It's like you don't really have bands like that now. Like even if their singer totally sucks and like the band overall isn't great, but like having those guitar heroes that like make kids want to play guitar, it's like it doesn't really exist anymore. But let's go ahead and take just a brief listen to this. We'll skip through it. We don't have to listen to the whole thing, but I myself am curious. Let's see what we got here. This is Fleetwood Mac and Red Hot Chili Peppers mashup.
Here you go again, you say you want your freedom.
Oh, I don't care about the copyright strike.
It's only right that you should play the way you feel.
I really hate her voice so much.
I love her voice. Her voice I love.
I do.
You would,
so
Roman.
Good.
Yeah, that works.
I think it works pretty well.
Well, it's the time.
Yes.
The timing is the same, so it worked out.
what you love. Oh, thunder only happens when it's rain.
What is happening right now?
You're welcome.
That's really good. Yeah, things you wouldn't think work out. But this works
Yeah,
out.
And I don't even really like the Chili Peppers that much either, but it totally
I don't
works.
I
either.
don't like the chili peppers.
I like the chili peppers.
That's okay. I'll give it
That's
that.
nuts. That was really cool.
That was
Good.
Interesting. Two bands that I really don't like at all, but making a mashup. Good for you.
Together they make one that you like.
Well, I'm a big Fleetwood Mac fan. I don't own I own Rumors and I own help me the blonde lady who sings. I've already lost it.
McVie?
Stevie, I own her one of her solo albums as well. But that's about the
Belladonna?
extent of my stuff. Yeah,
I just always remember
don't know
the
anyone's
there's a South Park episode where they made fun of Stevie Nicks and basically said she sounded like a goat. And I can't I can't unsee it.
Okay,
I
that's
can't
actually
figure it.
that's pretty good.
This is
All
fair.
coked up goat. Yeah.
So that's one. Let me see if I can find that clip because that's hilarious. And this is, I mean, from probably like 15 years ago. Let's see. South.
Can I go back to saying fuck Guns N' Roses again?
We can talk about Guns N' Roses.
You
in the
guys
meantime.
remember that fucking November Rain video? It's like 45 fucking minutes long, and they played it at least once an hour on MTV back in the day. So you got 15 minutes of commercials, and then they'd roll November Rain through again. I think you're right though.
really
I think
crappy
Axl Rose
quality,
is
but-
the biggest problem for me with Guns N' Roses.
So bad.
But the other musicians, I mean, on their own, it wasn't enough to as a draw because Axl was so fucking just grating. His voice is grating. Oh Lord. And I know people like them. People like them, but everybody has different tastes. But not my bag, baby.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. I remember when we were doing the stream talking about concerts, and Blair, you said that you saw Metallica on that tour where it was Metallica and Guns N' Roses on that tour that they did. And I asked, I was like, oh yeah, that's the tour where like James Hetfield was standing in the wrong spot at the wrong time and he got blown up by their pyrotechnics and got all freaking melted or whatever. Luckily, it was after the show that you saw. But everything I've ever seen about that happening was Guns N' Roses was the headliner. Metallica played first. James Hetfield turned into, the incredible melting man because he stood in the wrong spot at the wrong time. Had to cut their set short, but then because Axl Rose didn't want to be upstaged, he refused to come out and play. So it was like Metallica cut their set short. Guns N' Roses, the headliner, didn't play at all. So people rioted and went out and like burned the city down. And it's like, you freaking prima donna, you piece of shit. Like, oh no, like he should have come out and done something even more crazy, like launched himself out of a cannon or something. Like,
Right, really?
I would have actually paid money for that. I would have.
Especially if there wasn't a net to catch him, right, Roman?
No, and if there was a cannonball behind him. So everybody wins in that scenario. Everybody gets a good show. Axl Rose gets blown to pieces. I don't have to hear him anymore. Everybody
so
wins.
the only South Park clips I could find were like incredibly pixelated and crappy, and I don't want to pull that up, so whatever. But Lady Marine knows what I'm talking about. She said that's how she feels about Miley Cyrus's voice. Sounds like a goat.
I couldn't.
Miley is just Morgan Wallen.
Have you seen that, John?
I have not. I don't know if I want to.
Oh, they take Morgan Wallen and they pitch his voice up a little bit, and it is Miley Cyrus. It's weird.
Lord.
Okay, this I can accept. This has been like the only fully acceptable one.
I hate the Who.
This is another one I'm indifferent to.
I'm just kidding.
The Who. I don't dislike them, but I don't like them either.
I like them.
It took me a long time, but then I don't know what happened in my head. Then I just suddenly I like the Who. My biggest problem I think with them was Roger Daltrey. He's kind of he's Roger Daltrey. You get past that point and just listen to the Who and don't think about Roger Daltrey fucking too much, and they actually are a lot better.
That's like 90% of these bands are like, we hate them because the people in them are idiots. And like their songs are ruined by the fact that you can't stand the person.
Yes.
Like going all the way back down to Foo Fighters. Like, yeah.
And we're only at 11.
Yeah, but the Who was great. They were different than the Rolling Stones. I mean, we're talking similar era, you know, that everybody's working together, but such a different sound than the Rolling Stones.
Well, I also hate the Rolling Stones, so there's that too.
Look, that guy looks like Napoleon Dynamite, just saying.
What happened? Something bad happened. We all stopped talking and just
I was reading what Jacob said.
Oh, I like 3 songs from them. I don't. Yeah, Puddle's Pity Party. He is just too strange for me.
He's funny.
I can't.
That's strange. Pinball Wizard mashup. Oh boy. The Who are one of the most influential and innovative rock bands in history, known for their explosive energy, theatrical performances, and groundbreaking contributions to rock music. The Who helped define the sound of the 60s and 70s, fronted by charismatic Roger Daltrey, led by visionary Pete Townsend. The band's fusion of rock, pop, and experimental sounds created some of the most iconic songs in music history. Tracks like My Generation, Baba O'Reilly, and Pinball Wizard have become anthems of youth rebellion and self-discovery.
That was awkward. I feel dirty having heard those words put together in that order.
You gotta say it like really seductively, like my mic won't even do it.
Don't whisper. No whispering.
Censored
no whispering allowed on this channel. Creeps me out.
I can fix it 1 second.
Pete Townsend is an incredible guitarist, though, and I thank God he's there because it balances out Daltrey. So that's what makes the Who work. So, like I said, I'm
noticing a recurring theme that the guitarists are the best people in the bands.
Often, unless it's Dave Grohl, who's a fuckhead.
I thought you loved Dave.
Who's next?
Fuck Dave. Fuck
Who's
Dave
10?
and his fucking neck.
Wait, I thought they were on first.
Who's on first?
Thank you. Thank you.
I don't know. I feel like
there's
like a thing where
I was not falling for that one. No.
I was to say, I feel like we're in a situation here where I feel like Devon is too young and Roman and Blair too old to get the reference from when the Animaniacs spoofed the
I remember it.
Abbott and Costello. Yeah. So the
time.
Animaniacs spoofed the Abbott and Costello thing where like one of their main characters, Slappy Squirrel, was at Woodstock and she's like, "Who is on stage?" And her little nephew keeps saying yes, and back and forth because the Who is on. Yeah. You know where I'm going with this. But the like literally like who is on first is like comedic gold that it just you can't top that. All right, here we go. Here we go, Roman. You too. You too.
I'm actually okay with them being here.
What? But do you feel like their legacy has endured they should have retired?
Shit all over himself.
They should retire.
Like he went to Taco Bell at 2 a.m. and he's just rolling around in like a kiddie pool full of his own shit right now. That's where Bono is.
They should have retired in the 90s, I think.
Yeah, I mean
they were relevant for a time, but I don't feel like their legacy has endured.
No, and they put out a couple of shit albums, but by and large, I mean their body of work from the 80s is incredible.
Yes.
There were a couple bands in the 80s. You had like Duran Duran in the beginning of the 80s that dominated most of the the charts. Then U2 came along and they're very different bands, obviously, but U2, I mean, no. They put out a lot of good work after
they
Joshua
did after.
Tree.
They should have quit in the 90s.
Joshua Tree is their best album, but they still put out a lot of good work post Joshua Tree. I didn't like their weird kind of bullshit that they did going into the 2000s, though, and that's what we're talking about. Although they did backtrack and got back on course with Everything You Can't Leave Behind, because they got Brian Eno back in to do producing, and they found what they had done previously, and they put out like again two How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb is my favorite of their modern era albums. I think it's a great album. There's a ton of good songs on that. So I am okay with U2 being here. Like I said, they essentially defined the latter half of the 80s into the 90s, and their later stuff I'm perfectly good with. Now personality wise, Bono again is a fucktard. I don't like Bono. He is a bad person. But as much as I don't like Bono, I still like U2. So unlike Foo Fighters, where I find them tolerable,
you can separate the art from the artist on this one.
Dave Grohl was so much worse that I had to stop listening to them entirely. So that's my take. That's my take on U2.
Fair.
It kind of just comes with the role of just being like a narcissist and being an idiot and thinking that your opinion and everything else needs to be heard, among other things. And I think that just kind of comes with having that much attention. Like people aren't like mentally able to handle that. I think most people anyways.
They started out as like a college band here in the States, very college radio, very alternative, because they're like very political, and that kind of stuff. Then Joshua Tree blew them up into and that just blew them up into the stratosphere.
Yeah.
And then the 90s, they did some really great stuff, but also some just really weird shit. They did a Batman thing. Remember that?
Don't do drugs.
Yeah.
Yep. The song. What the fuck?
Yeah,
is
I remember that, Jacob.
That's all I think of when I see U2 is when that happened.
Yeah, that's where they went off the rails. And should have quit. I mean, they just played Vegas. They did the Sphere.
My phone.
They had a residency.
Yeah.
So people
wouldn't let you get rid of it.
What?
No, I was
silence.
Sorry.
He asked what? Get rid of what?
Hey Baby was born. The song. No, U2. Yeah, whenever they uploaded it, Apple did it to all of their everyone's phones, and you couldn't get
Songs
rid of it.
of Innocence was that album. It actually was an okay album. It wasn't fantastic. It wasn't horrible, but it also didn't need to get shoved onto my fucking phone like a prison rape scene.
I understood. It's like, okay, we're trying to give you our album for free, but it's like, well, maybe like put a link up there if people want to download it, but don't like, yeah. But
I
Blair,
remember,
you were saying.
I remember the 90s, they did Bono and the Edge cut off from the group, and they worked with Brian Eno, and they did Passengers. That's where they had that song Sarajevo with Praviati.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. It was very electronica. They actually thought the band was going to break up because they were so into that stuff. The other two members were like, fuck this, but they eventually came back together.
I don't think those two are like the most mellow fucking guys on earth. Fucking Larry Mullen's just happy to be anywhere. And then Adam Clayton's just like, all right, whatever you want to do, it's fine. And then he goes and drinks some more. So in my collection for U2, I have War, Joshua Tree. This is not in any order. This is the order that I bought them. Under a Blood Red Sky, Rattle and Hum. And I've got two best ofs. Wait, where the fuck's the other one? Oh, here we go. All That You Can't Leave Behind is the one I mentioned when they came back with Brian Eno, How to Dismantle an Atomic Bomb. But then I got two of their best ofs from 1980 to 1990 and then 90 to 2000. They came out with an interesting album though. What year did this come out? 2023, actually. Called Songs of Surrender. Now on this album, it's all older material, but it's only Bono and Edge. It's an acoustic album of those two doing it together. And it's a really neat take on the songs. If you don't like U2, you're gonna fucking hate this album too. But if you're a U2 fan,
you should probably reword that phrase that it was the two of them doing it together.
Who knows? I don't know. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened. But it's a cool album. So like I said, just the ones that I listed off.
No Octane Baby?
Before. Actually, no, I do own Octane. Where is that? I do own Octane Baby. Uh-oh. It's not here, but I own it. So that means I got to go fucking scan that motherfucker.
Oh boy.
God.
Yeah, because it says here, formed in 1976 in Dublin. Their early success was marked by albums like The Joshua Tree, Octane Baby, They produced some of the most powerful, universally beloved music of the 80s and 90s songs with or without you, Where the Streets Have No Name, and One become anthems of hope, unity, and human connection.
That's a lot of jerk off talk. The songs, the stuff that really put them over originally, a lot of, I mean, you got the stuff from War, Sunday Bloody Sunday. Before Josh Guthrie, Sunday Bloody Sunday was a
Gloria.
song. Gloria. But from Under a Blood Red Sky, that version of Sunday Bloody Sunday, if you were alive in the 80s, you heard that version of the song.
I was not.
I was only alive for like 4 years and a month, but you know.
When Octane Baby came out, it was one of those things where they would open the record store at midnight and sell at midnight. And
now,
people would pack in the place.
I didn't used to like that album, Blair. I actually fucking hated Octane Baby. It took me a long time to warm up to that motherfucker. Like decades before
what was one after that.
How old are you, Roman?
I'm 163.
Oh, that makes sense. In Hobbit years.
Mid 90s they came out and they had that one the video was called Lemon.
No, that album is insufferable. And I don't remember the name of it. You're right. There was that other one in there. And there was a lot of fucked up, stupid stuff on that album.
That's when they
and
were
that
doing
turned
like
a lot of people off from me too, just in general.
Yes.
That's why they had to go back to Brian Eno and get fucking
Zootopia?
Zooropa.
Okay.
Stupid name, stupid album. Bono was doing some stupid devil character on stage when he went out to perform. It was like heavy fucking retarded.
That's when he had his glasses.
Don't do drugs.
Soured a lot of people, man. Soured a lot of people. And that's why you got All That You Can't Leave Behind. They're like, oh, maybe we messed up. No, they're just not smart enough to appreciate us. But
no, they're not cultured enough. No, but Blair, it's funny, and you mentioned the like the midnight release thing. It's like I even remember there's only one time where I ever went and did that, but it was as recent as 2006 when Tool's new album at the time, 10,000 Days, came out, and I went with a buddy of mine, and we went and stood outside of Tower Records and waited for the midnight release. So it's like record stores kept doing that until record stores pretty much died, and now nobody does new releases, nobody does stuff like that. But it's like, I mean, that lived on into the 2000s, where it's like if you were really like, I want to go get this thing, like you'd go get the midnight release. And I did that for a Tool album. That was the only time I ever did it, and still went back home and listened to the entire thing before going to bed, even though I had to be at work at like 7 a.m. the next morning. But you know, whatever, I still did it. Dedication. I was young, I could do it. But yeah, those are the good old days.
Really,
they don't do that for anything anymore. Like maybe something releases at midnight.
No, I think like all the record stores that are out now, I think everything's all secondhand. So I don't think anybody does new releases.
No,
they're meant for anything at all. Like even video games.
Devon, what is the key thing that you're missing in your statement there? Why don't they do it?
Well, because they can just sell stuff online now, I guess.
Nope. That aside, why don't they do it?
What's that?
Nope. I disagree with that as well. Because everything fucking sucks, Devon. Everything fucking sucks now.
This is true. This is true.
No, Nickelback.
Nickelback doesn't suck, okay?
I need in my like funny like videos and memes and stuff here, I need the old man yells at cloud meme for Roman.
Yes.
Like,
that's right. Nickelback has a new you open that Walmart at midnight. Come on.
Yeah. Christmas release. Nickelback Christmas album featuring Mariah Carey.
Oh, she already defrosted yet? Like it's Thanksgiving's late this year. Like last year Thanksgiving was early, but I feel like people like decorated and accepted Christmas way before Thanksgiving. Now it's like it's at the end of the month. So by the time Thanksgiving happens, there's gonna be less than a month until Christmas, and I feel like people are just sort of like, meh. Whatever, we'll get to it when we get to it.
You got to take Mariah Carey out and you put the turkey in the fridge. Same time period.
There we go. Metallica, number 9.
I'm fine with that.
I'm okay with that.
Not top 10, but definitely on top 25.
So interesting story with Metallica. Though. For me, I like James Hetfield. Who do I hate in Metallica? The same way everybody fucking hates in Metallica.
Lars.
Face fucking Lars. Lars is such a cotton Not
The whole
good.
Napster thing did not do them any good.
No, I've hated that little fucking gnome ever since then. But Metallica is solid. They still hold up. Though their last album, 72 Sessions, is mid. It's not terrible. It's
Yes.
mid.
I thought it was good. Like out of like recent releases they've done, I felt like that had captured the most of like the spirit of their younger days more than anything they've done in probably the last 20 years.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct far better than 72 Sessions.
Of
But
all the speed metal bands, you know, they're the one. Well, they're the most successful because they made the turn in the early '90s and started doing less thrash and more, you know, whatever the hell they call it now.
Because they're getting old, they can't play as fast anymore.
Well,
got
that
the
was even back
arthritis
then.
and the carpal tunnels, and
also, Hetfield also can't hit the same stuff that he was doing back then.
Yeah,
he's still solid as a vocalist, but he's not. I mean, he's not doing what he did on Kill 'Em All or Ride the Lightning.
Ride Lightning. That's just,
no.
You know,
I mean, again, like he was in his early 20s then. I mean, you get older, your vocal cords change and stuff. But to his credit, though, on a completely unrelated, non-musical thing, Hetfield moved out of California because he liked to hunt, and he said he was real tired of coming home with whatever he killed that day on his truck and his neighbors being all judgy of him. So that earns him some points.
Well, he earns points just for not being Lars. That, I mean, it's
at the end of the day, nothing else matters.
I mean, Trujillo is a competent bass player. Kurt Hammett, good guitarist. Lars is a good drummer. He's just a fucking tool of a human. So
he
I mean,
keeps a solid like 4 on the floor, nothing special. But I get really tired of him always like his like tongue is sticking out and he's doing the duck lips and he's always like trying to stand up and play. And it's like, sit down on your damn drum throne and play your stupid drums. Like, you're not the guy at the front of the stage. If you wanted to be at the front of the stage, learn how to play guitar, learn how to sing. You're behind the drum set. Sit down.
I'm glad
play the
he
drums.
did not do that because I would have to see him so much more than I do. I don't. In my life.
They came out of LA, right? But then they moved to San Francisco to be different.
No, I think they came out of the Bay Area. They originated out of there, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I got nothing there.
Let's see what our descriptors.
They are from Los Angeles, California.
Oh, okay. Well, there we
So
go. I guess they did.
They started then moved early.
Huh.
But I mean, you're right. I mean, that distinct turn in their career was with the Black Album.
Yes,
it was like, you know, thrash, Black Album, and then that
okay,
changed
but
up
let's,
the model.
You know, realistically, like let's talk about the Black Album for a second. Like, it was not a bad album. Like, I think people gave them a lot of shit because it's like, oh, you slowed down, you started using acoustic guitars, whatever. But like, it's still a really good album.
I like the Black Album. That's the one that actually drew me in for Metallica, and then I backtracked to Ride the Lightning, Master of Puppets. Now, Injustice, I think Injustice is a good album. I think Injustice is an incredibly self-indulgent.
But you're biased as a bass player.
Yeah, because that's the album with no fucking bass.
No justice for Jason.
Keep turning him down. Keep turning him down.
The story always goes they were mixing the album and Lars was like sitting there in the control room with the engineer and he's like, he's like, that right there, you hear right there, he's like, turn it down. He's like looking at him like, you serious right now? He's like, yeah. He's like, turn it down a little more. And he's like, even more. And I'm like, it's like the whole thing was it like it had something to do with like Lars had this certain drum mix in mind that he wanted his drums to sound a certain way, and they pulled the bass all the way out of the mix. And they said part of it was that they were kind of like hazing him a bit because they were still grieving the loss of Cliff Burton and stuff. And it's like, okay, maybe you guys replaced him and moved on too soon and you weren't ready to get a new bass player and they were kind of extra cruel to Jason and you know, whatever. But no justice for Jason on that album. Musically it was good, but it's like it's just missing that low end.
Yeah, I mean, I have everything except for after the Black Album. They went into that weird fucking phase of just putting out kind of shit for
load and reload and
they just did bad stuff until help me,
Garage Inc.
Hardwired to Self-Destruct. So Black Album, the Hardwired to Self-Destruct, everything in between there is very questionable to bad.
Oh god, that's like a 20-year gap.
Yes, that's like a 20-year gap.
You look
Yeah,
like you're about to grab a record, but I know you're in front of a green screen. Like
no, I knocked my fucking ring light with my elbow because you got me all fucking Dago talking with my arms and stuff. So.
All right,
Roman throwing hands in the studio.
It's not good. It's not good.
Italian hands. So that was number 9, and I know we're coming up on the hour. So like I said, like there's a good chance we're gonna have to split this up into multiple weeks. But let's at least see where
to see where we're going to go from here, because I mean Metallica.
Let's see what number 8 is. We can end on
I didn't even
number
know
8.
from the picture. I couldn't identify what that was, so I don't know what's coming our way.
We'll end on number 8. We'll pick this up again.
I feel like this should be higher.
The Eagles.
Oh, yeah, it should be higher. I 100% agree that should be higher.
Oh, I don't have. Oh man, I don't have the Big Lebowski clip. All I can ever think of when I see or hear the Eagles is the scene in the Big Lebowski when he gets in the cab. The guy's playing the Eagles on the radio, and he's like, "Can you change the radio station?" And the guy's like, "Oh, what? Like, whatever. Like, screw you." And he's just like, "Come on, man." He's like, "I've had a rough night, and I hate the fucking Eagles, man." And then the guy like kicks him out of the cab because he doesn't like the Eagles. So quick fun fact about that one. So if you have seen the movie The Big Lebowski, I think it's like at the end of the movie and the final credits are running, there's a Townes Van Zandt cover of the Rolling Stones song Dead Flowers. And well, the movie studio and directors and producers were trying to get the rights to use the Rolling Stones song Dead Flowers for the movie. There was the producer who had, I don't know, like engineering or producing credits on the album with the songs of, he didn't want to give up the rights, or he wanted to charge some extremely crazy wild high fee for them to use the song for the movie. They showed that producer a rough cut of the movie, and when they showed him the scene where the dude is in the cab and he says like, "I hate the fucking Eagles, man," the producer was like, "That's hilarious. You can use the song for free."
That's awesome.
Hate the fucking Eagles, man.
I love the Eagles. I think the Eagles are fantastic. Because they were such a good blend of rock with a little bit of a country undertone now and again. And they're one of those bands that you had so many good members that that worked out just so well. I mean, all these big egos.
Their multi-leveled vocal harmonies were on point. I'll give them that. Like their vocals were dialed in.
The only problem I have with the Eagles, and this isn't as the Eagles as a
Is it Hotel California?
No, that's the Eagles together as a unit. You fucking retard. No, it's when you break up the Eagles, you get Don Henley, who produces good stuff. Joe Walsh, who produces good stuff. Then you get that cocksucking Glenn Fry that gives you Smuggler's fucking Blues. What the fuck, Glenn? What were you thinking? Anyway, he's dead now, so I'm glad.
He's probably thinking cocaine.
Oh boy.
And Timothy B. Schmidt was the bassist. The second one, because the first one quit. They actually had a fight on stage.
Here.
Oh wow.
Just like James.
That's when, then it's like, I'm done. Fuck you guys.
So we've had 3 that we all agree actually belong here.
Yeah, that's
Well,
I think
let's recap here briefly.
I think there's been somewhere where you're like, okay, I could see that. Maybe not as high or whatever, but
no.
Yeah, the Foo Fighters.
I'm just kidding.
Downvote. No Foo Fighters. The Doors.
Doors are too high. They're good.
Top 25.
Yeah.
Fleetwood Mac, which I fully vote against.
I don't know about 13th, but like on the top 25, I'd say.
Guns N' Roses.
Not this high, no.
Not that high, but good. Yeah, I'm down with that.
The Who.
Yes.
Yeah. U2.
Yes.
Yes.
Metallica.
Yes.
Yeah.
And now the Eagles. Okay.
Yes.
So most of them, I think we can all agree like top 25 for most of them.
A lot of them kind of came down to like, I don't like the singer.
Not the Foo Fighters.
That guy's annoying. Is all good about.
Not the Foo Fighters, but
no. No.
The problem with the Foo Fighters is that Dave Grohl is the Foo Fighters. He writes everything and just hires a bunch of goons to play his music for him.
This is fair.
Yeah, but the Eagles are an entirely different thing. I mean, there was such a multi-structured songwriting, and again, you had the individual talents, which were, they're extensive. So when you bring all that together, you get this amazing thing, this legacy.
It's actually kind of funny. I have so in my weekend side hustle of playing music, cover songs, this and that and the other, whatever. It's very rare that I ever come across reviews for said business where I absolutely know beyond a shadow of a doubt is absolutely 100% about me. But there's one a couple years ago. I was playing at this restaurant down by the beach, and it was on Father's Day, and that's the only reason I knew it was it, because I was playing on Father's Day and I knew it was that Father's Day. And there was a review where they were like, restaurant was okay, this and that and the other, blah blah blah. There was some musician just playing just okay versions of Hotel California and Jason Mraz, whatever, and I'm like, this bitch. Like, I'm on this tiny little stoop that's like the size of my desk that I'm sitting in front of. I can't fit a whole band up here. Like, what do you want? What do you want? Like, I'm one person. I just always remember that review where they're like, just okay versions of Hotel California and then Jason Mraz and blah blah blah, and I'm like, fuck you, bitch. But the same day, I will say, there was another family. They were like sitting at the table, like right kind of down right in front of me. Father's Day, the family, husband, wife, young son, and they're like, hey, like, any Pearl Jam, Eddie Vedder, blah blah blah. Don't get me started on Pearl Jam or Eddie Vedder, but I was able to fulfill their request. I played a song. They left a review to counter that other bitch. And it was like, hey, thanks for, we were there for Father's Day. He was able to, play an Eddie Vedder song for us. Thanks for making Father's Day special. And I was like, fuck you, bitch.
I agree with Jake and Eberstein, what he says. Each of our top 15s would all play
100%. Yeah.
It'd be a lot different.
This is a fun.
Nickelback number
exactly
one.
Why this is a fun discussion.
I can't believe they're above the Eagles. So
But no, Jacob, that's exactly it. Like, that's exactly why I thought this would be a fun discussion, because it's like there's 4 people here that all have different opinions. There's different people in the chat that have different opinions, and it's just fun to talk about them. It's just fun to just be like, oh, what do you guys think about this? Like, should this band be in the list? Should this band be in the list? It's a random list I found, but
I think the one thing we all agree on, though, is fuck the Foo Fighters. That was a
fuck the Foo Fighters.
Through all of us.
That, I think, is like the blanket statement of the day. But we could probably continue this one. We got up to 8, so then that would mean the next one is 7, 6, 5, 4. Okay, halfway. So we got 7 more for next week. We can split it up. I already know at least guaranteed Roman is going to be pissed off about the next 2, but we're going to save that for next week.
Good. I'm not going to look. I'm still going to look.
We want to see the reactions.
I like being
honest, real, honest reactions.
I'm glad that the Tragically Hip made it as well. I know how much John loves the Tragically Hip.
I don't know what a Tragically Hip is.
Roman looks very confused.
You don't know who the that hurts me. They're Canadian like icons.
Okay.
Well, I mean, all the Canadian bands, Nickelback.
You lost me at they're Canadian. So,
I'm sorry you feel that way.
No, man. Shit, no, man. I believe you get your ass kicked saying something like that, man.
Disavow. See?
Okay, you got one. You got one. Steph, you don't have to encourage him. It's okay.
No, are you drinking? What's going on, Steph? I don't even know how to explain this.
Hurts me. So Gord Downey as well is from where I'm from. So I mean that probably helps a bit.
That's fair. So I think for at least 3 out of the 4 of us. Well, Roman, you don't count because you're retired. But I was like, the rest of us have a short week this week.
Yes,
just got to make it through Wednesday, and then we'll see what happens. So, Roman, I'm guessing you are not doing a stream this Thursday.
No, we are not, because I'm actually doing Thanksgiving on Thanksgiving this year and not off.
What?
Allowed me to do the show last year, and I apologize.
How
So what I'm
dare
going to throw
you?
up is a classic Roman of the Empire episode where we did planes, trains, and automobiles. So I'm going to showcase that on Twitter so everybody can enjoy that with us if you want to. Joker hates the movie, which is funny, but Cannoli Sasquatch is there. And we have a really fun video that R2 the Icky made for us, which was fucking fantastic. So that's what we're doing this week. Next week on the 5th of December, we are back and we are doing V for Vendetta, and that is going to be fucking killer. That's going to be a good one. So,
not getting into your Christmas mode yet?
No, that's going to be December 19th. Actually, we're going to do a Christmas show. It's all going to be Christmas themed, and we are doing a live reading of How the Grinch Stole Christmas. So that's going to be fun. And then talk about our favorite Christmas stuff. So there we are. Thanks for having me. This was fun.
Yeah, of course. And Blair, what do you got going on this week? You hopping on with anyone else or just doing family stuff, Thanksgiving, all that?
20 minutes. I'm going to be on JT Gunn's channel.
Shit. You got to go.
We're going to be talking about our favorite movies. So
nice.
And you can also bring up why Nickelback is the best.
I said favorite.
Build that wall north.
But yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be on Zach's show Wednesday, if he's doing one or not.
Fellow Canadian.
Yeah, otherwise, you'll see me here next week on the second part of this list.
We will continue this list and continue to argue. I should be on Wednesday for some sort of after work beers before I take off for the weekend. I don't know what I'm going to talk about, but I will be off for the rest of the week. And then our resident Canadian, who will probably still be at work Thursday, Friday. How you doing, buddy? What Look at you with your baby face. Look at that. Just,
no holiday for you.
No pedo stash.
No holiday for you.
I still unfortunately have work, although my wife is American, so we are having Thanksgiving and we're having some pecan pie and stuff. So delicious.
Nice.
All right, cool. Yeah. You gonna bring some of your own homemade maple syrup to offset her pecan pie, or
so maple syrup pie, by the way, is delicious.
Oh God. Sounds like diabetes.
Yes.
All right, guys. Well, all of you in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us. Jacob Ironside and Lady Marine. Who is it that popped in for a minute? Moxie Dame briefly and everything. Also subscribe to the channel. So newcomer, thank you for being here.
Welcome.
She's great. She's really cool.
Yeah. So thank you all again for being here and hanging out with us. I will see you guys on Wednesday for after work beers. If I don't see you on Wednesday, if you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're American, hope you guys all have a fantastic Thanksgiving and a great week and weekend. And if I don't see you on Wednesday, I will see you on Monday. You guys.
Bye.
Peace out, everybody.
Be excellent to each other.
This has been Late to the Party News. Make sure to like and share this video for others to see. Subscribe to the channel and set notifications to all so you get notified every time we go live or post a new video. Thanks and good night.